It's a little deceptive.
Really?
Paddy gets fat, but he doesn't get out of shape. Paddy's got incredible endurance and an insane work ethic, but he also really loves to live and live life. You know, so he'll have a few beers, eat some pizza, get fat, but
Ilia no Master Topuria, he doesn't want no more.
If you want me to fight Posh Boy next, if you want me to fight Chorizo next, if you want me to fight Charles next, anyone can get it.
I think Paddy and Ilia is one of the biggest fights you can make and happen. Let's go.
I think it's one of the easiest fights that I could have.
After his dominant showing at UFC 329, Paddy Pimblett is already looking ahead to his next challenge. His attention remains firmly fixed on the lightweight division, with one clear objective: face the toughest opponents available and keep progressing toward UFC Championship gold. Pimblett has expressed strong belief that he can eventually become the undisputed lightweight champion. When the conversation turns to potential opponents, his position is simple. He is willing to face whoever stands in his way. Paddy the Baddy Pimblett has never been shy about discussing the division's biggest names. He has mentioned former champion and UFC legend Max Holloway, before also turning his attention toward other major contenders near the top of the rankings, including Ilia Topuria and Arman Tsarukyan.
In mind, do you have some things, hey, this is what I would prefer from you?
No, not really. I want to be a world champion. I want to be undisputed champion of the world. I want to be the first ever world champion from Liverpool. And I'm going to do that. I know that's in my destiny. I know it's in my fate. Whether it's the next fight or the next 10 fights, I'm going to be a world champion. It's that simple. If you want me to fight Justin next, if you want me to fight Posh Boy next, if you want me to fight Chorizo next, if you want me to fight Charles next.
Justin Gaither and Paddy Pimblett have made it clear that the names being discussed are not simply being mentioned for publicity. Pimblett wants to test himself against the most dangerous opponents available because he sees victories over elite competition as the clearest way to establish himself among the division's best. Yet one opponent continues to stand out above the rest: Ilia Topuria. Despite all the activity surrounding the lightweight division, Pimblett remains especially focused on Topuria, and a potential showdown with him continues to rank as his top priority.
Listen, I know he deserves a beating, and he got the beating he deserved off Justin, but he deserves another one off me. But at the minute, I feel sorry for.
For Paddy Pimblett, this matchup represents much more than another major fight. The tension between him and Ilia Topuria remains unresolved, and Pimblett wants the chance to finally settle their rivalry inside the octagon. Still, not everyone shares Pimblett's confidence. Justin Gaither has offered a very different prediction, believing that if Topuria and Pimblett eventually meet, Ilia would be capable of dominating the fight.
You say it's more challenging.
Oh, well, I mean, Ilia is one of the best in the world. He is one of the most dangerous fighters that there is, and he's a lot more dangerous than Paddy Pimblett. However, Paddy Pimblett is goofy. He's got a funky style, and not goofy in a bad way.
Yeah.
Not at all. You know, being goofy is such an asset. In there, he's really hard to hit. He's really long. You know, he moves in weird angles and at different times, and so that throws you off. And that's why he has success, and that's why guys like Sean Strickland have success, and guys like Dricus Du Plessis have success, because their timing is just different and funky, and having a funky style is hard to figure out the first time you're fighting somebody. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just that. I think Ilia is way more dangerous. I think fighting's crazy. I think, you know, in my mind, I think 97 out of 100.
Gaither points to Topuria's elite-level boxing, complete skill set, and championship experience as major reasons why he believes the matchup could be extremely challenging for Pimblett. From Gaither's perspective, Topuria has too many different weapons for Paddy to handle comfortably. Pimblett, however, completely rejects that assessment. He believes Topuria's reputation has been overstated and remains confident that he has the abilities needed to defeat him. Whether the contest remains on the feet or moves to the ground, Paddy sees potential openings. He has even suggested that he could stop Topuria with his striking or finish the fight by submission if it reaches the mat. And if the UFC eventually makes the matchup official, Pimblett says he is ready to back up his confidence inside the octagon.
So with all the fans around the world, I think that they want to see that fight. And at the same time, I have to be honest, I think it's one of the easiest fights that I could have in the lightweight division. I don't know. I can do with him whatever I want to do in reality. It's like, it's very excited fight for the fans.
Yeah.
Where I'm gonna enjoy a lot the whole process, and at the same time, it's a fight where I'm gonna be able to shine once again.
How would you win? When would you win? Give us some of that Ilia prediction magic.
Against Paddy?
Yeah.
Oh, I have to think about it. I promise you, I could like choose the way I want to finish.
First round?
Be like, that's for sure. He's not gonna stay there for more than one round with me. But I don't know. Maybe it's gonna be cool to submit him in the ground with a triangle choke from the mount, something like that. Like,
Pimblett has also strengthened his criticism of Topuria following the former champion's latest defeat. In Paddy's view, that loss could have a lasting impact, and he questions whether Topuria will ever return as exactly the same fighter. Pimblett believes the punishment Topuria endured may have consequences that go beyond a single setback, potentially affecting him in future performances.
GT gets you into that dogfight, drags you into it, know what I mean? And Ilia's never had that. Ilia's never had to come back from adversity. Ilia's only ever been the hammer. He's never been the nail. Know what I mean? That's why after that fight with Justin that I had, I knew I could come back stronger and better because I've done it before. I don't think Ilia Topuria.
From Pimblett's perspective, suffering significant physical damage in a fight can influence more than a fighter's body. It may also affect confidence, decision-making, and how they react when facing intense pressure in future contests. Whether Topuria actually experiences those effects remains uncertain, but after UFC 329, the spotlight has shifted noticeably toward Pimblett himself. MMA Guru believes Paddy delivered one of the standout performances of the event against Benoit St. Denis. Pimblett did more than simply secure the win. His performance made a strong impression and further elevated the conversation surrounding his place among the lightweight division's leading fighters.
Benoit St. Denis versus Paddy the Baddy lad. Paddy the Baddy Pimblett lad. Yous know who the boy is, lad. Yous know who the fucking boy is, lad. I'm the star of the show, lad. Paddy Pimblett steals the show with a generational performance against Benoit St. Denis. Amazing win. Genuinely amazing win. I don't know what the odds ended at, but when I was picking Paddy Pimblett, he's still an underdog. I think he was even more of an underdog when I was picking him as well. The odds closed up a little bit. But people were counting out Paddy here big time. And I said, what did I say, lad? Paddy said the same thing, actually, this fight week. I didn't make my prediction based on what he was saying. But that's the route to victory for him. If he stings Benoit on the feet and Benoit thinks I'll grapple, he leaves his head in position for a real...
According to MMA Guru, Pimblett produced the kind of dominance showing that can completely reshape how a fighter is viewed by both fans and analysts. For those who had questioned whether Paddy could succeed against top-level lightweight opposition, Guru believes this performance delivered a clear response. Entering as the underdog, Pimblett exceeded expectations and turned the victory into a major statement. The result also strengthened his position in one of the UFC's most competitive divisions. After watching that performance, MMA Guru believes the promotion should seriously consider booking Pimblett against Ilia Topuria next. In his view, Paddy's latest win has brought their rivalry back into the spotlight, with both fighters carrying major profiles, existing history, and plenty of motivation to prove themselves.
I'm like a fucking spider, lad. Starts calling out Ilia Topuria, the winner of Holloway versus McGregor. There was fighting, I guess that fight ain't happening. Maybe he could get Holloway though. But I reckon December, Ilia Topuria, Paddy Pimblett. Why not, man? Let Paddy Pimblett have this summer. He's back on momentum. You have to cash in on Ilia Topuria versus Paddy Pimblett. You just simply have to. I won't take anything else. And then you do Oliveira, Arman. I would like to see Arman versus Gaethje, but I could see them not doing it and maybe doing an Arman versus Holloway, but I don't know what's going to happen. But Paddy Pimblett, Ilia Topuria has to happen next. And guess what?
Taking all of these factors into account, MMA Guru believes a matchup between Ilia Topuria and Paddy Pimblett could become one of the most exciting and commercially appealing fights the UFC could make in the lightweight division right now. Jorge Masvidal also sees plenty of value in the matchup, although his reasoning comes from a somewhat different angle.
champion. I truly mean that. He's very good everywhere. He's good at creating the chaos. And I think for him, once he gets into chaos, he's able to find submissions. And each submission that he really, gets is very, very good basics, good fundamentals, meaning that BSC comes across the board, they start exchanging, he shoots a takedown, he gives up his neck, he takes the neck, and he stays with the choke. He attacks the guillotine. BSC rolls. When he rolls, he traps, he attacks the shoulder. He attacks the shoulder when he's trying to roll through. He attacks the shoulder so he can't completely roll through. When he attacked it and he rolled through, he locks up a beautiful Darce choke. He hangs onto it. BSC's trying to escape. Paddy sits on his butt, throws his legs over, and he's able to lock it in. He keeps it, secures.
Paddy Pimblett's recent development has even opened the possibility of bigger opportunities, including a matchup with Max Holloway and potentially a path toward championship contention. But what changed the way people view him? According to Shiel Sonnen, Pimblett has addressed many of the previous concerns by becoming more disciplined, professional, and committed outside the octagon. Rather than depending solely on his natural ability and confidence, Paddy has taken his conditioning much more seriously. He now works to stay in shape throughout the year, meaning he can enter a training camp prepared instead of spending the early stages simply rebuilding his physical condition. That change could prove extremely important. After producing a dominant victory while absorbing very little damage, Sonnen believes Pimblett is in an ideal position to make a relatively quick return and pursue another major opportunity. Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson has also been impressed by the progress Pimblett has made. Johnson has even gone as far as predicting that Paddy will eventually become a UFC champion. One quality that particularly stands out to Johnson is Pimblett's composure during fast-paced grappling exchanges. When positions change rapidly, Paddy remains composed rather than becoming overwhelmed. He can identify openings, connect submission attempts, and capitalize immediately when an opponent makes even a minor mistake. Johnson believes those natural grappling instincts, combined with Pimblett's improving fundamentals, help distinguish him from many other contenders. As Paddy continues expanding the rest of his skill set, those strengths could become even more difficult for opponents to neutralize. Ariel Helwani has also suggested that Pimblett emerged as one of the biggest winners from UFC 329. Much of the attention before the event was focused on other fighters and storylines, but appearing in the co-main event gave Paddy an important opportunity to reach a much larger audience. Simply receiving that platform was not enough, though. He had to make the most of it, and he did exactly that. Pimblett delivered a dominant finish on one of the biggest stages of his career. When the main event failed to generate the level of excitement many viewers had anticipated, Paddy's performance became even more noticeable. As a result, he left UFC 329 with a major boost in momentum. Helwani's larger argument is difficult to overlook. From the moment Pimblett made his entrance, the night seemed to work in his favor. The atmosphere was massive, his performance delivered, and the submission provided the statement finish he needed. Then, during his post-fight interview, Paddy confidently made it clear that he was ready for whatever major opportunity came next. This was more than another victory on his record. Pimblett used the entire occasion to strengthen his position as a legitimate lightweight contender, while also demonstrating that his popularity could support major UFC events in the future. That is what makes Paddy's current position so interesting. His ability to attract attention was never really in question. The bigger concern was whether his performances would eventually match the enormous spotlight surrounding him. Following UFC 329, more people are beginning to believe that he may finally be answering that question. However, his next opponent could reveal even more. A fight with Max Holloway would place Pimblett against one of the most experienced and respected fighters of his generation. Arman Tsarukyan would offer a completely different test, built around elite wrestling, physical strength, and constant pressure. And then there is Ilia Topuria, the opponent Paddy appears to want most. Their rivalry already has genuine history, and both fighters have expressed confidence in their ability to defeat the other. After everything that has been said, finally putting them together inside the octagon could create one of the biggest lightweight matchups available. So the question now is straightforward. Has Paddy Pimblett done enough to earn the blockbuster showdown with Ilia Topuria, or should he first defeat another elite lightweight before receiving that opportunity? Let us know your opinion in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more UFC news, fighter reactions, predictions, and detailed fight breakdowns.